因为你有爱，所以我们存在。因为你有爱，人生笑开怀。因为你有爱，所以我们存在。因为你有爱，人生笑开怀。
欢迎全球的观众朋友准时收看《音乐有爱》节目。我们在今天的节目相当的难得，我们为大家请到的是一位不平凡的音乐家，在他的音乐当中流泻出他的和平，还有一种慈悲的精神。非常难得，我们请到的是博士威尔·塔托，非常谢谢他来到节目当中。博士跟我们谈一谈一位灵性老师也曾经讲说，您是一位不平凡的音乐家，在你的音乐当中，我们可以听到那个世界的和平、慈悲还有爱可不可以跟我们谈谈？我们一直觉得你很了不起你看你又是一个这个素食的一个改革者，然后你又是一位音乐家，跟你的这个书香门第跟你的这个家庭背景是不是有很大的关系？你的父亲是报业的巨子有13家报纸然后你的母亲是画家，所以我们很想了解，就是说是不是一个这样子的一个家庭背景，让你童年有一个什么样的一种教育熏陶能够养成你这样子的一个不平凡的一个人格。
Yes, I think I was fortunate growing up in a family that was very involved in the community. My family was very interested in learning and books, and my father was a writer. My mother was an artist. My father was a musician. He taught me to play the piano, and we were very involved in the community because he owned these newspapers. So all the local governmental officials were always coming to our house to talk, and I was very involved in politics. And so I always, in the very beginning, my father taught me that it's possible for someone to change, to help change the world. I could see that, that we can each one of us make a difference in the world. And I think I learned from my mother the importance of spirituality, and especially from my mother's mother, my grandmother. My grandmother was very spiritual, and she did a lot of meditating. She was a vegetarian, which was unheard of. She was doing it more for health reasons. She said, well, I just can't eat, meat. But I think she also encouraged me to play the piano. And I think she was a very powerful influence too. And then also growing up in Concord, Massachusetts, there was a history there. It was the Transcendentalists. It was Thoreau and Emerson were the first people to bring the teachings from Asia to the United States back in the 1800s. The Tao Te Ching and Buddhism, Taoism, Hinduism, these teachings. So I early on, I was kind of drawn to these things. And I think when I started to see the violence in our society, the war, the Vietnam War was going on when I was growing up. I didn't like any of that, and so I saw answers in the Eastern teachings, and I was taught, I think, to be open-minded, you know, to look to other, you know, to other things, to read and to find out, and I think also at a deep level. I went through what a lot of young people do. Like when I was a monk in Korea, I saw a lot of young people in their early 20s, they become monks, you know, and they want to live a spiritual life. And that's what happened to me, but there was no Buddhist monastery around, so I just left home and kind of did it the only way I could, you know, that way. And my parents supported me. They said, if that's what you want to do, you know, do it.
你的钢琴演奏跟别人很不一样啊，非常的直觉，诠释的方式、速度的快慢都是很当下的。可以谈谈这个部分，就是说你怎么样用音乐去跟别人去做共振
？Actually, yes, I was basically just classically trained in music, but when I started to go in my early 20s to go on a spiritual path, the music totally changed. I didn't want to play anybody else's music anymore. And I just started sitting at the piano and as a meditation, I just started playing. And I would just let the music come through me without thinking. And I learned that if I didn't think and just stayed open, these beautiful melodies would come and I would feel so uplifted and transported. And so I started doing that. And then when we left my brother and I left and we went on our pilgrimage, I really didn't have access to a piano for a few years. I was just meditating a lot. But then when I came back to the music again, it was much deeper. And it was really getting very powerful. And I started to play and people were very powerfully encouraging me to do this more. You know, they said, make an album, you know, we want a recording. And so I started actually to play music on the side, and that got more and more, and I started making cassettes and then CDs of albums. And the music really took on a life of its own. And when I went away to Korea as a Zen monk, my old Zen teacher said, well, I don't know if that's a good idea. It might not be good for your music. And I thought, I think it's going to be very good for my music. And so when I came back, after more meditation, I felt the music was even deeper. So it is, to me, music is a spiritual expression that is benefited by learning to be quiet inside and just listen and be spontaneous, be open in the moment. And so that's what I love to do, is just improvise and let the music flow through me. And it's been wonderful. The last 30 years, I've been traveling and doing quite a few concerts, and a lot of people have said they've been touched by the music over the years.
Yeah.
这个弹奏的这个音符的涌现，它跟灵感有关吗？你是把它记录下来吗？还是用什么样的方法啊？那你在弹奏的时候非常的即兴，所以对于错误或者说你弹错音符啊这样子的事情，其实你都非常的当下，也很释怀。可不可以跟我们谈谈你心中所谓的即兴音乐这个分享好吗？
Yes, yeah, for quite a few years in the beginning, I did not write melodies down. I would just play, and I would play concerts just totally improvisationally, and then but then I started thinking I would get a certain melody would come and it would be so beautiful, and I would think I'll never forget this, but then I would forget it, so I started writing them down. And just the melodies, and out of those melodies I would create pieces. So now I do both. I play pieces that I've composed, but even when I play them, I never play the same way. I always do it differently. But I also like to play a lot just with free improvisation, because to me, the real power and magic of music is in spontaneity and in improvising, just letting the music come through in the moment. Mm. Yeah, so that's mainly how I do it. Oh, and the other thing is in Zen, in a way, there's no such thing as a mistake. There's this, sometimes I'll play a note and I'll think, oh, I didn't mean to play that, but it actually opens up a doorway into a whole new great thing I never would have thought of on my own. So.
我也很想知道，就是说，有人会说音乐是一种疗愈啊。你觉得它是可以是一个对自我跟别人的一种疗愈，或者说它有时候也可以是一种禅修静坐的另外一种形式？
Yes, yeah. To me, music has a healing power, and I've noticed over the years that even mainstream medicine is now acknowledging that music can be healing. And I think what makes music the most healing is when the mind of the person who's creating the music is in a meditative state. When we get outside of the little personality and allow a bigger cosmic energy to come to the earth or come through us, and to me, it's always been a feeling of playing music to help heal the earth and heal the world and heal human beings. And we've done actually, my wife and I together, many, actually thousands of recordings for individuals over the years for healing them. I think we're the only ones in the whole world that actually do individual sessions with piano music. I play usually a 30-minute piece of music. I sit with a person, they sit by the piano, I just tune into them. I just start playing, and their spirit pulls the music out of me, and I just start playing, and it's always a different rhythm or melody. And while that's happening, Madeline creates a painting of symbols that come to her, and so they bring this home. And people have found that it's very healing. They'll sometimes physically healing, sometimes emotionally, in other ways, because everyone has their own unique rhythm, our own unique melody, our own unique harmonies. And I think when we play music that reinforces that from the higher level, not just the personality level, but the level of the essence of the person, that gives people more confidence, they feel more inspired, they feel like they do have a life worth living, because music goes much deeper than just words. People, when someone, like if I play the piano, sometimes people have tears coming because it touches at a deep level. Music goes beyond the surface to the depths. And so I think for me, as a vegan, the important thing is to bring healing into the world and to spread beauty. And the more I think we can create beauty and reflect the beauty of nature, that's what really brings healing, and that's what I think music can do.
您现在已经60岁了哈，实在是看不出来，保养得很好。可是你讲说你的心理的年纪呢，只有20岁，这真的是一种冻龄的感觉哈，那个年龄好像冻住了。我们也确实在你身上看到了那个源源不断的那种健康、精神和对于世界的这种美好，会感觉起来跟博士在聊天，好像跟一个朋友在聊天啊。可不可以讲一下？你平常如果不做宣传工作的话，你的修行日子，你怎么样过你的一天？可以跟我们谈一下你的一日生活。
Right. Well, actually, for the last 17 years, we toured around the North America full time. So our days were always different, but mainly I was doing writing, playing music, traveling, a lot of speaking, lectures, workshops, and concerts, doing a lot of those. And then I like always to spend time in nature every day. So taking walks in the woods, and also like to swim every day if possible in the ocean or the river or stream or lake or somewhere in the water. And then I do Tai Chi and yoga usually, and meditate every day, of course, in the morning. And then of course spending some good time with my wife Madeline, and eating meals, of course, is part of it. And then for the last year, we have a house now, so we're spending more time gardening. So we're traveling, but we also have a garden, and we're working with the plants and the trees and those kinds of things. And also spending some time helping people who are transitioning to veganism. You know, that's a lot of work. Most of the work is around promoting vegetarianism, veganism, and compassion for animals, either writing, corresponding, working on the trainings that we're doing. I write quite a few articles, and then playing the piano every day, which is also an important part of my life too. Yeah.
非常谢谢博士能够来到这个节目当中来，非常谢谢你的音乐。
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
thank you.
Doctor.
谢谢
Thank you
谢
very
谢。
much.